Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Urban Discipleship Podcast. Today, we're talking about Haley Bailey and her role in The Little Mermaid and some of the weird reaction to her being Black and playing The Little Mermaid. I don't understand it. We're going to talk about it on the Urban Discipleship Podcast. Stick around.
Urban Discipleship Podcast.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Urban Discipleship Podcast, where we always endeavor to do two things: that is, exalt Christ
and enhance relationships.
Enhance relationships, man. We're gonna be talking about. Did you ever think we would talk about the Little Mermaid?
Right.
So, but before
nothing surprises me no more.
Listen, Christianity is all encompassing. Let me tell you,
man, this is crazy. This world we live in, man. It's crazy.
Before we get sanctified, let's get silly. Okay. That's the story we'll be talking about. But this one you got to read. Okay. So I know there's a lot of our people who are part of church culture, and you all been in that situation where, you send somebody up there to do a welcome, read the announcements, take the offer.
This is so true. Like, man, I sent that man up there to do the welcomes. Sit yourself down.
You can tell when it's about to go off the rail. Came to welcome you, and I was just thinking this morning.
That's what they heard. You got a word in your belly. Go ahead and preach. That's real.
So
man, I'd have been in so many of those situations. Like, what is he doing? Just sit down. I'm sure I've been that person too. That somebody wanted to sit there.
And man, that's so true. As I think about it, I love the time I spent in the missionary Baptist context, because the church that I went to was a very tight-buttoned missionary Baptist church, and so if you were to do the welcome, you were to do the welcome. That's it. However, we still had so many people from the old school where, if you got a word, you got something to say, when you get your opportunity, you say it, right?
And those is not even the worst, though. Situations. The worst situations, like, we used to have like open testimony service during.
Come on, see that
during church.
Testimony service. Some of y'all watching me right now talk about what is testimony service.
Man, my daughters have no idea what a testimony service is, and the kind of things that would be said. It was just like, and some people would talk for an hour, brother. Like, maybe that was the leadership should have, all right, sister, God bless, what I'm saying, do something like that. But man, you remember, bro, it was some lengthy ones.
And you know what? I keep thinking, because we do like hour and a half. And I be thinking, what was we doing back then to hit that 3 hours?
But a lot of it was like Papa, our grandfather, would preach for a very long time. So, like, there was like old preachers used to do like introductory remarks. Like, so, like, we get up, I say a few words, and then like I jump into my introduction. You say less introductory words than I do, and you jump into the introduction. Like, back in the day, bro, it used to be like an hour of introductory remarks, and then he'll say something like, turn your Bibles to
man ain't even got to the sermon yet.
And then he got 3 points, and then we used to follow up the preaching with the altar call. And that was another sermon.
Somebody was in there for a sermon for that. Why?
We was in there for a minute.
Another sermon why you should give your life.
Yeah, bro. They're talking about the gospel, bro. I'm like, yeesh.
Man, listen, that's my train. I'm not gonna let you talk about it, man. Shout out to them. to all those ministers, man. Shout out to the Rev.
Like, well, we used to get in there like 11:30, leave at 4, 3:34.
Sunday school, take a break, eat a donut, get back in there.
Oh man, brother, get back at it, and then don't think you don't have a 3:30 service, right?
Come on,
we going to Joseph or Jacob or someplace.
We're getting older, and really getting into football, man. I used to have to like take the VHS and just record the games.
Yeah, brother.
Record the games because I didn't have no cable, so I didn't even see no highlights later. I had to record the games. Shout out to the old school VHS.
That's real, man.
Just because I love football, that's the only way I can.
Me and my cousin LJ, we left AG, and we were the last people to leave because I locked the church up. So we left AG, and we got home. We saw the whole afternoon game, and like if you leave right after, you're gonna catch some of the morning game. Like those days that wasn't happening, brother.
You gotta watch LJ and his dad though, man. They gonna put a phone out in church. The stream,
that's real.
You're supposed to be back here on the AV. You watch it. Shout out to them, man. We need them. Good job. Okay. So let's stop things. Get sanctified. So we need a lot of sanctification here because apparently there are Christians, and specifically this Christian Facebook group, who are against having a black actress play in the live version of The Little Mermaid. If you don't know, singer and actress Halle Bailey, or is it Halle Bailey? It's kind of funny because she kind of gives me Halle Berry vibes. Yeah. But apparently people are upset because she is a young black woman. She's going to be playing the new Little Mermaid. Apparently people are upset about this.
So is it an animated movie or is it a real life movie?
I think it's going to be real life. Although this got the little animated picture next to it. I think it's going to be the real life. Because I think you scroll down, they got like a picture. Maybe I'm missing it here, but they got a picture from it. But it's a real live action. Live action.
Yeah, I don't know what we're talking about. Yeah, live action.
Yeah. I could read this, but anyway, there's two things that's mentioned here. One, they talk about Matt Walsh. I like Matt Walsh. So maybe that's just my personal feelings getting offended because they call Matt Walsh. He seems to sympathize with the people who feel like this is what they call white erasure. And I seen Matt Walsh's comments and I read them here. I was like, that doesn't seem to be the sentiments he's expressing. I don't know if that's what you call. I'm going to read what Matt Walsh says, and Matt Walsh has a YouTube channel. And shout out to him. You can go watch it. If we all agree that race in films and TV shows, especially fictional stories, don't matter, and we're going to take a kind of colorblind casting approach, and it doesn't matter as long as the actor is good. If we could all agree on that, then I'd be on board. Walsh said that's basically what it was for many years, what it was back in the 90s. So, now I'm kind of like, as I think about that comment, one, I don't think he's sympathizing with white erasure, but I do think there's a little bit of naivete in that comment, as he says, back in the 90s, it did not matter what race you were when you're trying out for roles. That's not true. Maybe a little more true today. I think there's more opportunity today. So if there are people who are racist in certain rooms, man, you could just turn your own camera on, start shooting.
Yeah.
Start shooting YouTube.
Yeah.
You can make a star out of yourself. There's more opportunity now given the internet. But back then it was gatekeepers, man.
Yeah, definitely.
And if that gatekeeper had had a racial bias, man, you stuck.
Yeah. Like, I just think we get these. We had this issue. It was always better back then, like. Like we do it with music, we do it like with everything. Oh, it was always better back then. The issues that the human condition is still such that issues of race and culture are still prevalent. They may be expressed differently, right? They may show themselves differently, but they're still the same issues. And maybe we, in some ways as a society, we've got better at handling them, but they resurface themselves time and time again, because it just goes back to the issue of the sinfulness of man. Man is broken, and this utopia that we hope that man hopes for will never come to fruition. But my thoughts on this particular issue, Rob, they are twofold. Right.
Okay.
My first thought is, I understand why it's very important for African Americans and those who are racial minorities to see their faces on the big screen, and to see their faces in these traditional characters, right? So that I have girls, and so you want to be able for them to see themselves in these roles, right? Like the Little Mermaid can be Black as well. The Little Mermaid can be Asian. Sleeping Beauty, right? You want it to be something that empowers them, and that they can see that this is not the world you live in has place for you in it, right? And so I think that's the reason why you see this push to do that, right? To put these diverse faces in these traditional characters. And so I guess it's okay. I'm not a big fan of it. Like, shout out to Haley. I'm gonna watch it because I believe she's gonna do a wonderful job. I hope her career catapults into like crazy success because of it. But I think, like, I don't want the Little Mermaid made Black, and then you tell me you built a diverse society, or you built a diverse platform for us in art. Like, tell our stories. Like, I like rom-coms, and I like Hallmark movies. And the thing that makes me more upset than anything is when they take what is clearly a white plot, like that is traditionally experienced by white Americans, and then just throw a couple Black people in there, like, and then now they're the star characters because that's diversity. No, like, yo, tell Black, and you don't have to go the Tyler Perry way and just have us down in the dumps. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's middle class Black stories to tell, right? There's like upper middle class Black stories to tell, like I think like the Crazy Rich Asian movie, like that is dope, because that is a sector of the Asian community that we didn't know existed, and we were able to see how they live. Like, that's art, bro. That's diversity in art. Like, me and my kids went and saw Woman King, and it was dope, right? It was a Black story told by Black people, that everybody got a chance to be able to we were clapping at the end of the movie because it was just high level art made by Black people, and we're all able to consume it. Like, tell good stories, man. Like, if you like, I don't want to see another reboot. Like, tell a story. We don't always have to be making like superhero movies, and got the Black Adam coming out, and I'm probably gonna go see it, right? But tell stories that are genuine to Black people. Like, just because you made the Little Mermaid face Black, and Haley got that,
you're gonna shoot the same movie. You're gonna shoot the same movie,
tell them the same story.
And so I totally agree with that. And I want to, like, you want to tell Black stories, but then make it good. as well. Good stories. I thought that, one thing I thought that was good when it came out, and I was like, oh man, this is good. We gotta, when we got the Princess and the Frog, I'm like, oh, like I thought it was good when it came out. Then as I reflect back on it, I was like, man, this movie not that good.
Yeah, it was like kind of like demonic or whatever.
And then
but they were trying to tap into the New Orleans culture, right? They were trying to tap into a lot of the history of voodoo or something like that.
Frog Prince that's a European story, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You talk about the Princess and the Frog?
Yeah, the Princess and the Frog.
But at least at this point, and Disney got his plethora of issues, right? Like we can go there, but at least like we can go get a Tiana doll, and that is a authentically Black princess. I think there's value in that, and but she's probably one of the least known of the traditional Disney princesses, right? Mulan is probably one of the least known of the traditional Disney princesses. The ones that are traditional are the most famous ones are the white one, the white princesses. And that's why you think it's a big deal to put a Black person.
Most recent and the most, I think, like in the younger Disney generations, you think they remember the classics?
Well, maybe I'm aging myself
because
Disney refuses to release a movie with like a traditional white princess at this point. so yeah, maybe our kids don't know. Our kids don't know about Sleeping Beauty and. And the people that are up and over are people that are our age, right?
I'm on the CC, so now you got me thinking because I'll think about the popularity and what I say, but I think the popularity goes with the soundtrack now because music has become so with the traditional white princess. Frozen has really taken to the forefront, and I would say that's probably the most popular.
Yeah.
Now, Frozen.
Yeah. I think so.
But Moana.
I'll think about that. My daughters, where we had a pool. We used to live at a pool, and my daughter would like go to the water and start singing that song that Moana was singing. Like, what is she doing? but I think like representation does matter, and
no doubt.
And this is why I don't get upset when white people, and hopefully I don't sound like a racist in my own self, but I don't get upset when like white Americans like this outrage. Like these are some things that I just come to expect. And it's probably sad, but like just I've lived long enough to expect certain behavior, so I don't get upset when like you get this outrage. Like you got these Christians are professing Christians starting this group, and they're upset. Like really? Like is anything that serious for you? Like people are going to hell, and you need to be preaching the gospel, and you started a Facebook group about the Little Mermaid.
What point? What Christian point are you making? I'm lost. Oh,
like you're anti-Christian from the gate. Like they fail to read Revelation 7 or even just the Genesis 1 account of God's creation of humanity.
No, we're talking about a movie. We're talking about a mermaid movie. I'm not. And then like to have people. It makes really makes me think like to have people click and say yes, I want to join
that group. And some people was joining it just to just to be critical of some of the stuff that they were saying, right? But I do think there's a bigger story here about like art is so commercial that we want to do what we feel people are going to buy, and so good stories are getting written, or they're getting written and they're not getting made, right? Because it's not going to be a blockbuster. Like Little Mermaid, this is probably going to sell a lot. Why? Because there's nostalgia for some people, right?
Yeah, it's playing of the popularity
of the first one, but somebody had to write the first one, right? And so that's all I'm asking is write other. Really
find that
good. Write other good stories and put us in our cultural context when you make those stories. Don't just take white white worlds and place Black and Hispanic and Asian Samoan people. Don't just put us in those contexts. Like, tell our stories, and it'll resonate. It'll resonate, right? And I think that's what's being missed here. Like, I understand why we want that representation as Black people, but what we should be pushing for is Black art. Like, I love what Jordan Peele does. I love what the lady that directed the Woman King. Like, they're doing art that's like Black, or that is whatever. It can be Hispanic, like, and it's truly authentic. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, we're lazy artistically nowadays. Like, because I think commercial success isn't, you don't think it's going to be there, right? So you don't write it, or you don't produce it, or you don't direct it. You know?
Yeah, there is definitely a lot of legs in it. So, like, what was successful in the past? Let's just shoot it again, right? Let's just shoot, or make a spin-off and try that'll work on that. Yeah, from a Christian standpoint, I mean, I think it's safe enough to say we both disagree.
Yeah. We didn't even talk about because it's silly though, Rob. It's silly.
Silly. I was like, what are we talking about here? And I not only from the Christian context, but even in a broader context, I'm like, listen, it's big ups to Holly, man.
Hopefully she do her thing, right?
You know, it's the Little Mermaid, man. This is not. I don't think that they're even trying. I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't even think they're trying to even make a large stake with casting her. Right. This is unless they do. Sometimes they do work in. It'll probably be a political theme in there somewhere.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's gonna be The Little Mermaid, and I know what happens in that movie, and then like, I guess I'm interested to see her family. Does that mean that there's going to be black actors,
black actors and actresses in the movie? But what, and so Black Christians, right? Particularly, you see this and you like it, but understand that this diversity is an inclusion that you're looking for is good, but if you're under that worldview, that is not shackled by Christianity, right? Like, we have borders on our worldview that keeps us from including people in the diversity conversation that Scripture doesn't. You know what I mean? So the point I mean to make is, don't be surprised as Christians and you're watching Disney, and because they are so heavy on inclusion, that you're going to see characters that don't follow traditional sexual patterns, that are maybe are transgender. Why? Because this is how they understand diversity. This is how they understand inclusion, and it happens in most workplaces, not workplaces, but most streams of art. Like, when you say "at us," right? Just understand, like, they'll do that, and we're thankful for it. But just don't be surprised as a Black Christian when you go, and that inclusion is much more expansive than your biblical parameters would allow. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm making my point clear enough. But
you're hitting on something, and as you talk, I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, here's the real diversity. Here's the real diversity movie I need. Is the Black Christian princess?
No, you're not gonna get that one.
Take that one?
No. And like, man, it's just so much that, like, I if we were in a personal conversation, I would say, not just because of the algorithm, but because, like, we hold positions of influence, not just in our personal lives or in our spiritual lives, but in our vocations. Like, I manage people, and so I gotta be very watchful about even what I say, because it can stop me from being promoted in the future. Right?
You keep growing, your coworkers are gonna see it.
They're gonna be like, this dude is a bigot, man. He doesn't follow the EEO. No, but like, I do think, like, Christians should understand. Like, I don't get crazy, Rob, when I see they got one of the like a LGBTQ character inside of the children cartoons. I'm like, but babe, I told my wife, like, or anybody, like, why would you expect them not to? Like, why would you expect that? That's not the case if you really believe that there needs to be representation for that community. And so, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I've come to grips with the fact that as a believer in Lord Jesus Christ, I'm gonna live in a world where people don't love the Lord Jesus Christ, and that they don't follow the tenets of Scripture like I do. And that's the reason why the Lord tells me to shine my light in the midst of darkness. I'm not telling you not to vote. I'm not telling you not to fight for certain things, but understand that the world we live in looks much more like the New Testament than the world I was born into, which is fine. Like, shine your light, you know?
All right. Shout out to everyone down there making the Little Mermaid. And shout out to church leaders. That was their article. And remember to like and follow AGMLA here on YouTube. We're going to let you go. Remind you to do two things. That is love God
and each other. Peace.
Urban Discipleship Podcast.